point something out. Did you ever notice how the Wizard of Oz uses symbology for the 21 Club, as in the red shoe club? Remember the red slippers she was wearing? Those are symbolic, especially in Hollywood, for child sacrifice and what they do to children of all things. But this stuff's been going on since the beginning of time. I know a lot of people would say the Book of Jasher, yeah, it's not biblical because it wasn't included in the Bible, but how can you exclude that event still took place? So instead of, because yeah, the Bible is a manual for us to live out our lives, but all these are actually part of history of the things that did go on, even our hidden history, because a lot of history has been erased, believe it or not. Giants, everything that was on this earth before. God didn't really even make, dinosaurs. Those are hybrids out of graphene. He didn't make those. Graphene, oxide or graphene is the same thing going to be put in Neuralink to keep put in your forehead or your palm. These are heat signatures, your forehead and your palms, because they heat up with your neural tract system or your neural system throughout your body and everything else. But anyway, getting back to what I was saying, that the red slippers go into child sacrifice, and the one thing we have to consider is that, well, the club, yeah, I was telling you, the 21 Club. Why do you think in music they use a lot of numbers of 21? It's occult numbers. And things you have to consider that in this club, they do basically believe life is just, you can live however you want, do what you want. Sin is free, dark, evil stuff is free. And just knowing that movie, if you notice, in the Bible it talks about gold's made of road and sidewalks and stuff, that the road in the movie is made of gold, followed by the green kingdom. And if you notice at the end, they would say, I'll give you courage. He gave the guy behind the curtain, when it would say, don't pay attention to the guy behind the curtain, because life's a stage. This whole world's a stage. Everything's already scripted. Remember, even in the back, he had this stuff scripted out. And then the big head, you could think of the big head as our president. All the presidents think of that, but don't pay attention to the man behind the screen. If you notice, we have a screen in real life, so if we pull back that screen, what do we find? We find deception, we find Freemasonry, we find all these evil, corrupt beings. They're actually entities of fallen angel race origin, and you find a whole bunch of other things as well. And yeah, if you want to know, these beings have always been here and existed, and like I said in my other videos. But besides all that, get back to the topic that in the Wizard of Oz, you have your good, and then the witch is represented as Lucifer, Satan, and the monkeys are represented as hybrids. Graphene, hybridize the DNA to clone it. Graphene to make hybrids, going back to Enoch in Genesis 6. And the monkeys are represented as a hybrid. You could see this in other movies like Power Rangers and all sorts of stuff, but they're like Satan's armies, his minions, his puppet, to go out and kill people, cause them harm, deception, gaslight, whatever else. And the monkeys are actually, you can view them as narcissists too. I mean, who was the head number one narcissist? It was Lucifer. He's like number one narcissist. He lives through you, and he always comes with a surrogate or a clone. He never comes with the real thing, because he can't make anything authentic. Only God can do that. And it was the kingdom of light and darkness, and basically the only deception, I would say, really big deception, is they were saying there was a good witch in that show. Good witch and bad witch is not true. There's no witchcraft is witchcraft. It's all demonic. I've seen and been in all that occult stuff, and it's not a game people want to take it as a joke. It's not. So witchcraft is very much not to be toyed with, but basically he was giving them over like courage, and then the Tin Man going back to this oil. So it's just like, imagine at the end of that movie, going back to the current thing, that he was giving them plaques or crowns, as it says in the scripture. God was crowning people, so it's almost, you can view it as that same symbology. And the kingdom was supposed to be represented as deception, but no, the kingdom was actually supposed to be represented as the kingdom of heaven, because it goes into that. But they use it as deception, because it was almost like, the way I view it is the Democratic Oval Office in D.C., where they have deception, and they have a big curtain in D.C. Once you pull that curtain back, they have a screen up, and the president, you could think of him as the president. It was just one big lie to the American people, and people alike, and people in general. So, this whole world's a lie. It's deceptive, it's scripted. Music, movies, predictive programming, everything, MK Ultra that they do to celebs in Hollywood through Freemasonry, the CIA, and all this other stuff. This is Luciferian lifestyles, if you think about it. And Satan's just rolling this for a certain time before God will finally kick him off into the pit. And especially when I talk about things like graphene, they're showing dark matter and graphene even more and more in the black cubes, because it's leading to be used. And Satan will use Islam to conquer, to bring the world together. He will use the beast system, which is also in Islam, and it's a lie in itself. I promise you, it's satanic to a core. So keep that in mind. God bless him in fairness.